Okay, we're going to talk about restringing your acoustic guitar or electric guitar for that matter, and we're doing it on these dual posts here on the neck. If you have a single line of posts, it'll be similar, but for this tutorial we're going to talk about the double posts. And on this side you're going to mirror everything from the left to the right. So let's begin by talking about the tools we're going to need. So you can pick this up at your music store. It's a string winder. Basically, you put it on the string like that, and you can turn it to loosen or tighten. Pair of wire cutters at the end. You can cut the excess off. That's about it. I'd say between taking the strings off and putting the next set on, you'll want to take and clean off the body as much as possible. With acoustics, you can use some furniture polish if you'd like. A lot of people say stay away from that. Stay away from any wax buildup. Kind of clean it with a nice cloth just to get the fingerprints off and whatnot, and that should be fine. And if you're doing that, that's great, but it's good to get inside underneath here and maybe sweep out inside a little bit if you can. Just kind of, this is a good time to do any upkeep and maintenance on your guitar while you have it the strings off. And that includes wiping down the fretboard, cleaning off the steel frets here if you can, maybe taking a look at the nut and taking a look at up here at the head, and just give it a good once over to make sure everything's okay before you put the strings on. So we're going to go ahead and remove the strings, and we'll go ahead and fast forward through this so you can get to the next part real quick. Let me talk about the strings real quick. If you're new to acoustic guitar playing and you're just putting your first set on, you might want to buy something a little bit less than this. This is a 0.12 gauge, light gauge Diodario phosphor bronze EJ16-3D. Pretty popular string brand for acoustics. They got a nice bright sound. If you're starting out, go a little bit less than go to 0.11. If you can get 10s, great. It'll help on your fingers. 13s for the more heavier, thicker sound. Mediums are 0.12s, so that's where we're staying out here. Okay, so we've got our guitar laid out here. I got it set up on this little yoga pad thing so I can get a hold of it good. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So let's see. And on these strings, they show you E is silver and the low E, sixth is brass. So I want to look for the brass and follow the color guide. As you can see, there's different colors. Okay, so the heavier ones are here, the brass and the red. We've got the A and the E. Unwind those, and I'm going to take them down and pop them in. Brass for the low E, red for the A. Go to the next ones. We've got the black and the green, as you see here. Black and green. That's the next set. Those are the wound, still wound. Okay, so what I go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and set them up by putting them in the guitar, getting them set off to the side. So D is black and G is green. Put that in the hole. Green. Yeah. I've heard a little witch hazel might be good for cleaning your guitar off. That might take off any finish you have as far as wax goes. You know, most people want to stick with like just nice damp towel, not anything wet. You don't want to get it wet. A little dampness wouldn't hurt. Okay. Silver and purple, we've got E and B. So B's are purple, and E is the silver. So we're popping that in. Okay, I lay them off to the side. Now, we'll take the low E string. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Now on the top here, you want to face all your nuts so that they're going this way. You know, these are going there, so we're perpendicular. Okay. This is going that way. I'll show you what I meant. It's going that way. You don't need a stick to do that. I'm just doing just to show you visually where the things are pointing now. It's pointing there. Yeah, this is, you don't need to do this with the stick. Why am I doing it with the stick then? Okay, there we go, it's in. Okay, now they're all pointing inwards, I guess if you want to look at it that way. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through from the inside. Okay. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to pull up about a width, right about double dot. Pull about that much. That's how much slack you need. Pull it through, make sure it's coming out down here. It's still holding good. Okay, we got about a width with the hand. That's your bend point. Okay, pull it back around this way, towards the inside, underneath the string. See how it's underneath? Pull it straight up, and it goes like that. Okay, now take your right hand or whatever hand you're doing to hold the string. Kind of move it up a little bit so your thumb is like that. Okay, now you hold your string up and get your string winder. Now what this does is when that goes around, this string will lock against that and keep it in tune. That's the whole system of this. Keep that straight, hold this down nice and tight. And as you go around, watch the string, make sure it goes under the wrap that's going currently. See, it's going underneath there. Now what that does is it tightens this and everything's nice and clean wrapped. And when you go to tighten your strings to tune them, it'll hold a lot better. I can put a new set on, stretch them out, put them on, go play a gig that night, not worry about it. And that's it. That's the basis for tuning the right way. Going in from the inside to the outside, finding your hand point here, on your slack, getting your slack, coming around, underneath, snap it back, start tuning it, and that's it. You just want to make sure that this wire is under this wire and being tightened by this wire. And that locks it. And that way it'll hold in tune. Now once we get them all tuned up, I'll show you how to lock this in tune. So let me go ahead and finish this up and put the next string on. So I just go to the next one here. I come from the middle. Get my slack. Not that much slack. Pulling it, make sure it's tight in the hole. Okay. Come back around, make my bend. Okay. Come underneath the string. See how it's underneath that? Pull it straight up. I got my slack tightened on the nut here. Put my thumb down there. And then just, if you want to hand tighten that till you get past here, that's fine. Okay, now we're just, we're locked on that string. And we're underneath this next wrap. And that'll push this wrap up into the lock part of the knot there, I guess you'd say. Alright, and then that goes like that. We wrap it around, keep it in the nut space here. It's underneath. Oops, sorry about that. So now that's tension is pushing up on this nut right, this knot right here. So whatever's inside here is not going to move. Okay, and that'll help your string stay in tune. I'll do one more. The D. This comes in from the inside to the outside. Hand in the middle. Get your slack. Make sure it's good and tight. Make your bend. You see that bend stays. Come around underneath the string. See how it's right there? Pull it in that corner. That's locked. Here's my strip marker. Pull it around there. Your hand up. Oops. It's going to keep your slack nice and controlled there. And pull tight. I've got this pretty tight. As tight as I can. I'm pulling it with this finger right here. And I'd say laying it down like this is the easier way to change strings. Okay, that's that side. Now the other side is the opposite. Okay, so we've got our D string here. We go in from the inside to the outside. We get our slack. Alright. Then we make our bend. Come around, underneath. A little trickier on this side. Pull it that way. And now, our string winder. And as that goes around, make sure your slack is under control here. Make sure that doesn't lose. Sometimes you have to pull this back out. It starts coming through. Okay, looking good. Okay, and that's this side. Okay. I'll do these two, and if I need to edit them out because of time, I'll do that, or speed them up. Edit out, and in the slack, coming around, underneath, bend, hold your slack, make your turn. Get your main line there. Make sure it's underneath the other string. And it'll come around and tighten up on itself. And that's what you want. A lot of guys are out there playing and they tune up constantly because their strings aren't put on the correct way. I think we tune a couple times a night and that's it. I put it away. I get it the next day, it's still in tune. Insane. Okay, this looks a little bit crooked. Let's tighten this up. Okay. Now if you wanted to make your angles on these a little bit more sharper this way, that's fine too. You'll just have to go down and then when your bend comes, you come around there. I just like this because it's a little more even for me, which makes it easier to string it. Okay, we got our slack going on the outside. Under. There's our bend. Okay, we're making sure that's underneath there. There's no need to rush this, just control your slack as it goes on, so it'll go on evenly. That's why we're controlling it. Okay, all the strings are on now. We just take our snippers here, get rid of the excess, unless you want to be Johnny Rebel and keep them on for your cigarette. And just cut half off. Okay, that's great, and we've got them all on, and that's how you string your guitar. And if you want to, at this point, what I do to stretch them out is I'll just hold my finger on the 12th fret and just kind of give it a little tug here as I go down. Not too hard. You can feel where it's starting to get, but just give a couple tugs there. You know, don't do this too hard or you'll pop your strings and then you'll be mad at yourself. So I'm just stretching this out a little bit. I don't want to take the overall stretch. And then I want to tune it up. And just go get your tuner up and just tune the whole thing and strum it a little bit more. Do this once it's in tune with itself, a couple more times. Just stretch it out like that. Tune it again. Try it again and keep doing that. And once you're done, just these little stretches, it should stay in tune for you really well and shouldn't give you too much issue with going out of tune. Cool device is called a snark. And you can get one of these at your music store. I think they're about 30 bucks, depending on where you live. But they're pretty cool. All you do is you put it on the top of your guitar head here, Now I'm trying to position so you can see it. Push the button here so it comes on. Well, there we go. We're looking for EAD GBE. So we'll start with the E. Always tune up to a note. If you have new strings, you might want to come back a little bit. Kind of tune in waves a little bit, not all the way up to it right away. See how I'm doing that? I'm looking for a D. Going back to the A. Up to our G here. Okay, we're up on the G now. Trying to get that B. Okay. And the high E. Okay, we hit that E. Now our low E is probably going to be out. Just want to get it kind of in a ballpark here, because I'm about to stretch it out. Now I'm going to stretch the strings a little bit from the 12th fret, holding it down, and just pulling a little bit. Try that E again. Always tuning up to the note again. It puts tension on the wind. If you loosen down to the note, you're loosening the tension. So make sure you're always tuning up to it. And this is how you tune your guitar. Beautiful. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked that video, please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.